What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some quick boxing news. It looks like Miguel Cotto, famed boxer, has recently announced that he is only going to fight three more times and then he's going to permanently retire and spend much time with his kids. He told ESPN Deportes, he says, I could say I have three fights to retire from boxing and devote myself to my children. My thoughts on this. Miguel Cotto, I like him a lot. He's a very likable guy. He's a family man. He's a skilled boxer. He's never ducked anybody. He's fought. He's been in there with top competition, more or less in those fighters' primes. Josh Clottey, Floyd Mayweather, still is undefeated, so he fought Mayweather undefeated. He's been in there with Zab Judah. I mean, who hasn't this guy fought? Pacquiao, Margarito twice. He's been in this with some great fighters. Um, he always has heart. He always brings that to the table. And as far as Miguel Cotto, aside from liking him, I just don't want to see him become another like name on a tombstone, on a boxing tombstone. Not in terms of like actually being deceased, but I don't like to see when fighters continue to fight longer than is needed, and they end up tarnishing their legacy, or it just leaves a stain because they didn't get out while it was good. Um, if you've seen, I like gangster movies, so if you've seen the movie Carlito's Way with Al Pacino, he was trying to get out of the game, trying to get out of the game, and he waited too long, and at the end he gets popped by Benny Blanco and he gets killed. So I don't want to see Miguel Cotto get to that level of his career where it's like a Roy Jones Jr. or Mike Tyson, where they're just a shell of their former self. Because I really like Cotto, and I don't want to see him getting to a point where, again, he's just a shell of his former self. I don't know about three fights because Miguel Cotto's style of fight. People like Marquez and Mayweather, they're technicians. They're more technical, so I would say they can last longer. People like Bernard Hopkins, they can last longer in sport. Nothing new. I've said this in previous videos. Miguel Cotto is skilled, definitely, um, but just his style of fight, I don't really know who he's gonna fight, and it's a well-known fact that Miguel Cotto doesn't like doing cardio. He doesn't like running, which is probably perhaps the reason he went up to 154, or one of the reasons. Um, Miguel Cotto, I would personally like to see him go back down to 147. I think he's far more effective. Um, I would like to see some of those fights, and I think he can make more competitive fights at 154. If you look at Miguel Cotto frame wise, he doesn't look like the typical 154 fighter. He seems like he's going up there. I don't know why he went up there, but again, I heard that he doesn't like doing cardio, so that definitely could be one of the reasons. And as you get older, your body naturally changes, and sometimes your bones, and you become more of a dense person. So it might have been harder for him to get back down to 147, but I think he could probably get back down to 147 and be more effective there. Another thing with Cotto, after his father passed, and just things that I've seen, I haven't really got the feeling that Miguel Cotto's heart is in boxing anymore. Similar to Pacquiao, if you look at Pacquiao, Pacquiao has so many outside distractions. He's a singer. He's on Jimmy Kimmel. He's doing Hennessy commercials. He was being accused of harboring a fugitive. He was cheating on his wife at one point. He's doing Bible studies, and he's a pastor, a preacher, a deacon, a pallbearer, and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know how much of him is still in it as far as Miguel Cotto or Pacquiao, to be honest. But since this video is about Cotto, I'll stick to that. I just see him in interviews, and it sounds like he just wants to be a family man. His father's loss obviously was devastating and hard for him to take, and I just don't see the same level of hunger. I think the Margarito fight stopped him when he was on the, like, he had so much momentum. He was definitely a feared fighter, and that really not derailed his plans because he was a force. And I don't know if that had part to do with it. His father passing had something to do with it, or just a accumulation of all of these things. But when I hear Miguel Cotto talk about boxing, it doesn't look like his heart is in it the same. It doesn't look like he's the same competitor. Um, so it could come with age or any of the other things I listed, not to make excuses, but this is boxing. And at the end of the day, it's a highly disciplined sport. So if you're not in 100%, there's no way you can compete with some of these elite guys, because if their heart's in it 100%, then it's going to be hard for you to compete at that level. Personally, again, I'd rather see him go back down to 147. I think he can make the weight if he sticks to his diet or game plan and really forces himself. If he stays at 154, um, who could he fight? I don't even know who he would fight. Maybe Gabriel Rosado, uh, Kirkland. I don't know how he would fare against someone like Erislandy Lara because his last two fights have been against more slick defensive type fighters. So Mayweather and Trout, and then if he were to fight Erislandy Lara, I don't know that would be the right fight for him because I don't think it would allow him to look good. Same thing if Cotto were to fight Carlos Molina. If he fought Carlos Molina, I don't think that would be another fight just because Molina has a very awkward style and he fits the 154-pound weight division just fine. I think it wouldn't allow Cotto to shine, put it that way. That's just my opinion. If he went down to 147, I don't really know who he could fight. Timothy Bradley, if they would make that fight with Top Rank. I mean, I'd always be interested to see two people with heart go at it. Marquez and Cotto, possibly, but Marquez is pondering retirement. Who knows if that would ever happen, could ever happen, if Cotto even wants to work with Bob Arum, because it sounds like Bob Arum basically tried to offer him lowball him when Pacquiao wanted to rematch him. That's another fight I would definitely like to see, but I don't want to see Pacquiao under Pacquiao's terms. He lost his last two fights, so I don't want to see no catchweight. If Cotto fights Pacquiao for a rematch, I would like to see it at 154 or closer to 154, not 146 or 148 or anything like that. I want to see it closer to 154, preferably at 154. I think both of them they have something to prove at this juncture of their career, so I'd rather see that fight with no catch weight, unlike the first time. Other than that, there's not too many guys. He could fight Malignaggi, who has a belt for the moment, but Malignaggi is going to fight somebody. We don't know who that person is. Possibly Maidana. It was Shane Mosley. We don't know. So by the time Cotto goes to fight again, who knows if Malignaggi even has the belt. I don't really know what Cotto can really do at this point of his career, to be honest. Who can he fight? He's been in there with the best. Who is he going to get a world title from? That kind of thing. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Cotto will have success doing his closing show, his last three fights at 154? Or do you want to see him drop down to 147? You want to see him just hang him up now? I'd be content if he hung up the gloves right now, to be honest. Because, again, I wouldn't want to see him go on and start taking abuse that we're not used to seeing Cotto take, aside from Pacquiao and Margarito fight. But if he does continue to fight, I would rather see him fight at 147, to be honest. If not, there are a couple guys at 154, but do they have titles, and would it be worth it? So, let me know what you guys think. What do you want to see Cotto do? That's pretty much all I have to say. Make sure you subscribe, comment, and or hate. Until next video, it's Ego, signing off.